makes us always believes in only about doing, doing, doing. While the child need is your state of being. The longing for every child is to be recognized on the level of form and not on the level of what you're doing. Is to be recognized not on the level of form but on the level of being. And that's why you don't recognize, even you judge your child on the level of doing rather than his state of being. Because you are coming from a state of doing, you only recognize other on the state of doing. When you come from the state of being, then you will recognize other on the state of being. Then I'll cover more on parenthood later. Then at work, ego at work. How you talk to your boss is very different than how to talk to your subordinate. And of course, there's no problem. Sometimes you need to be firm with your maybe subordinates, you need to get work done. But idea is to be aware. Idea is to be conscious that this is a role I am playing. My role wants me to do this at this moment. Ego in illness, I've spoken about it before. Your pain body. We become so identified with the pain body. We like our pain body. We like to suffer. We like to be victimized ourselves. And that is stopping you from your wellness. Right? How I've showed you in the earlier, the second day, how our pain body, we love our pain body, we become addicted to our pain body. Because those emotions, because of those limited emotions that we are carrying, that leads us to the disease. But we don't want to, we rather live with the disease, but rather than dropping those emotions or freeing ourselves from those emotions, rather than memorizing those emotions. Because chemically we are addicted to that. Collective ego, again, I've spoken about it. So Buddha said, wear your ego like a loose-fitting garment. We need to wear our ego, we need to play our roles, but wear your ego like a loose-fitting garment. When the ego weeps what it has lost, the spirit rejoices in what it has found. Right? So losing your ego or become conscious of the ego is not a loss. Your spirit rejoices when we do that. And the huge amount of freedom, the energy comes to you actually. A lot of people ask me, how do we let go of the attachment to things? I said, don't even try. It's impossible. Attachment to things drop away by itself when you no longer seek to find yourself in them. The moment you stop seeking find yourself in them, attachment will be dropped on its own. The moment you stop identifying with it, it will be dropped. The moment I don't see myself in my car, the attachment will drop away. I know this car is a great car to use. I enjoy this car. But my enjoyment, but I don't, but I don't identify. It's not. I don't identify myself with this car. This is not my identity. I'm much more than my car. I am that super consciousness. My primary source of happiness is within me. It's not in this car. If it's there, it's good. I'll enjoy it. If it's not there, it's still good. I'm okay to travel by bus or a cab. I'll enjoy that also. Right? So the attachment to things naturally drop but it drops by itself when you no longer seek to find yourself in them. Even for ego in illness, when you are unhealed from inside, then you will find offense in pretty much anything that someone does. You'll take it personally. Because you are the grievance looking for the cause. That's what the ego does. Ego is now looking to affirm that pain body. But a healed person understands that the actions of others has absolutely nothing to do with them. How they behave is their choice. How you respond is your choice. Now I'm going to talk about the ego traps. Since we are all into spirituality, I want to talk about the 11 ego traps that sabotage your spiritual growth. So one of the greatest dangers on the spiritual path is that ego becomes spiritualized. Because the ego loves to think of itself as spiritually evolved. Ego loves to feel, oh, I am such a spiritually evolved person. So that is what ego becomes spiritualized. Because then it is just another way that it manages to feel important and in control. Okay, you have become spiritual. All right. Ego will tell you, you are the most spiritual person. You are amazing. Others are not evolved. You are here, you are there. I call it enlightened ego. So it's important to free yourself from an enlightened ego. So what are those ego traps? I've categorized into these 11 traps. I'll go one by one. A trap of spiritual bypassing. So what is spiritual bypassing? It is a tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or avoid facing unresolved emotional issues. That's where a lot of meditators become very serious meditators, professional meditators. Because spiritual bypassing, they're not resolved, They have not resolved their real emotional issues, their real wounds, the psychological wounds. So the spirituality has become their hiding. It is a way of hiding behind spirituality. Because my emotions give me pain, so why not numb these emotions in the mask of spirituality? You become obsession to positive thinking and wearing a nice mask. Many times we think that being spiritual means being positive. But to really being spiritual means being conscious and aware. Because emotion in itself is not negative or positive. Positive and negative are two sides of the same coin. So to become conscious is very much different than to become positive. When you become conscious, you become aware, then we must become authentic. Then it is about becoming authentic, about being real. And authenticity includes both positive and negative. Another spiritual bypassing is having weak personal boundaries. Sometimes in spirituality we lose our boundaries. Like for personally, there's a limited time, or there's a time where I am giving for my spiritual work. Apart from that, I am into my business or social life or family life or traveling or learning. I love all of that. So my boundary is I'll do only teachings in a group. I will not become a personal coach or a personal therapist. And that gives me time, that keeps me feel nourished. It gives me time for myself to feel nourished. A lot of times people ask me, oh, you called for the live class, live workshop, and you played the recording. I said, but I also want to meditate. So you understand, you don't forget yourself in trying to help others. You don't leave yourself behind trying to help others. Because the only way you can give when your cup is full. If you feel drained out, trying to help others or trying to become spiritual, then from what being are you going to give? A beggar cannot help another beggar. So it is good to have your personal boundaries. Sometimes even excessive tolerance or compassion. So I want to help others, but sometimes I need to tell them, sorry, I will not be able to help you personally on a one-on-one basis. I cannot be your life coach. They may feel bad, they may feel otherwise, but this is what I need to nourish. This is important for me. Sometimes we become excessive tolerant or excessive compassion. It blinds us. Trying to kill ego forcefully, another spiritual bypassing. Trying to kill ego forcefully as if ego is bad or evil. I'm saying ego is not bad, neither it is evil. It helped you for your growth. You are here where you are because of that. But it's just unconscious. And you become conscious of it, aware of it. Sometimes people get stuck in theoretical spirituality. Just about theory, about knowledge. They have not really integrated it. And you think because you know it all now, it's all done. No. You have to, only when the knowledge turns into experience, your own experience, then it becomes your wisdom. Until then, for you, it's only knowledge. It may be others' wisdom. For you, it becomes wisdom when it turns into your experience. So, a lot of time in spiritual bypassing, using spiritual practices to dissociate from the emotions, rather than transmuting them, rather than transcending the emotions. Rather than transforming those emotions. Then the trap of superiority. Again, this is again a very powerful ego trait, which sneaks from the back door. The moment you become spiritual, the moment you have all the knowledge, immediately comes a lot of judgments. You have strong judgments and condemnation. Again, those who don't, is not following spirituality. If you stop watching TV shows and somebody else is watching a TV show, you think, oh, this person is stupid. Why is he watching this TV show, this kind of a TV show? Or why is this person gossiping? Or my meditation is the right way, how stupid, what kind of meditation is this? Or any other spiritual practice, or not any, or no practice. When you become a vegan, you judge everybody who is not. Right? When you become vegetarian, you judge others who are not. When you read spiritual books, if you are reading spiritual books, if somebody is reading fiction books, you say, oh, how stupid. What a waste of time. So this is the ego. Or when you become so simple, suppose you have chosen to live a simple life, and somebody is living in a lavish house, or is traveling in an expensive car, you are saying, how stupid. So this is ego sneaking from the back door. So this is the trap of superiority. Actually, the truth is, once you awaken, you will have no interest in judging those who sleep. Once you awaken, you will have no interest in judging those who sleep. Because you appreciate their journey. You accept them the way they are. You understand that we are all on different paths of journey. At one time, even at one time in my lifetime, even I was sleeping. Right? Best thing to drop the ego is the family, actually. That's why Ramdas said, if you think you're enlightened, spend 1 week with your family. सब तारे जमीन पे आ जाते. Then the trap of forcefully trying to wake others up. When you are really spiritual, you respect others' boundaries also. You respect boundaries. You respect their choices, because now you respect your choices. We don't need to forcefully try to push others. But when we are spiritual, when we become into meditator, you become pushy. You have to meditate, you have to meditate. Right? To our own family, to our children. But we don't need to be pushy. Everybody is going through their own journey. You may share your experience. You may share your transformation. And when they see your transformation, they may get inspired. Or you may request them. It will be great if you can try. But you don't become pushy. Because you honor their choice. You honor their journey. So this is a big trap when you forcefully try to wake others up. The trap of wanting to help others. When we become spiritual, when we have all the knowledge and wisdom, now you want to give unsolicited advice. You don't respect others' boundaries. Maybe they don't need your advice. In every discussion, you'll give your spiritual funda. Right? So again, that's a trap. You honor everybody's choice. You give advice when the right time is there. Not any day, any time. Sometimes a person doesn't need your advice, just they need a hug. They don't need your spiritual funda or the guidance. Sometimes they only want you to hear them, just to be heard. That itself can lead to healing. But we become like a problem solver. Oh, I need to solve that problem. You don't need to solve the problem. The problem-solving mindset comes. But as teachers, as spiritual teachers or uplifters, if you make other people your object of attention, if you make other people, if you're trying to uplift, if you're trying to uplifting others, make your primary object of attention, then you don't uplift them, they downlift you. Because then their suffering hurts you, their pain hurts you, their disconnection lead you to your disconnection. तो निकले थे अपलिफ्ट करने, खुद ही डाउनलिफ्ट कर होके वापस आ गए, राइट? So, first, stay uplifted. Maintain irrespective of anything, maintain your upliftment. And then from that upliftment, then you can do whatever you can do. And it could be anybody. It could be your son. It could be your parents. It could be your sibling. Because we love them, we want to help them, and their disconnection lead to our disconnection. Then how will you help them? That is a test of your spirituality. The real spirituality comes within the family environment. The true test is within the family. That is a test that irrespective of their disconnections, you will not lose your connection. And that is when you can truly help them. If you keep giving your attention to their disconnection, what you give attention to, you feed, your energy flows, you will activate more of that disconnection in them also. But when you maintain your connection, then you can focus on their connection. Then in your meditation, you can close your eyes and visualize. When you find your connection, you can visualize your son and see him connected to his inner being. See him happy and joyful. Otherwise, you're seeing him as an unhappy person. You're seeing him as a person making a wrong choice. And now you're worried, you're upset. And then you lose your connection. And you are saying you want to help them. How will you help? The trap of wanting to revolutionize the world. Ego loves to know that you are the savior to the world. If you don't save, the world will suffer and will die of suffering. I am the Messiah. Christ reborn. I am going to save this world now. Right? So, the world survived before you, it will survive after you. The world was spiritual before you, it will be spiritual after you also. 2,500 years before Buddha and Mahavir, that time there was no social media, there was no recordings. Still they continue to impact, to teach. So you don't need to, there are many masters who have been before you, who have given many profound teachings, much more than you can know ever in this lifetime. So don't, but ego loves to believe that I am going to save everybody. I am seeing so much of suffering, so much of pain. The reason you're suffering is seeing it suffering because you suffer inside. You want to revolutionize the world. But all revolutions are fake. All revolutions are fake. Meditation is the only revolution in the world. All other revolutions are fake. So friends, it is very common especially in early stages of awakening, to have that impulse to want to save others, to want to save the world. But as you expand your consciousness, you begin to see the interconnected of all things. You understand that the only way you can change the world is by changing yourself. Yeah. Mic here. You respect each other's soul's journey. You understand that each soul is a different journey, different level of evolution. In my family, in our generation, we have 5 brothers. You know me, Varun, Kaushik, another brother Neeraj. All 4 are very much into spirituality. All are regularly meditators. My one brother is into politics. He's a local MLA from my hometown, Betul. And he is very different from all of us. But initially when I started going to spirituality, I was very pushy. You must meditate, you must meditate. Everybody is meditating, how can you not meditate? But as I understood it, every soul is at own journey of evolution. Somebody is a young soul, somebody is an old soul, somebody is a baby soul. And I'm going to share that concept later on. So, every soul is a different stage of evolution. For 25 years, Pyramid Valley has been there. He has not been to Valley once, not even once. And we are very closely bonded. But everyone is at a different stage of evolution. Every time he says, हाँ भैया मैं आऊँगा, इस बार तो पक्का आऊँगा. And it says, भैया ये काम आ गया, sorry नहीं आ पाऊँगा. And I totally understand it. His soul is not at that path. This time he wants to experience his ego to his fullness. And you honor that choice. In fact, I cancelled the November workshop because 17th is the election. And he got the ticket again, 17th November. So 1 week I am going to campaign to boost his ego. But you honor everybody's choice. You respect everybody's choice. And you love their choice. It's so beautiful. Life is beautiful because of our differences. And that is empowering. When you try to change their choice, you lose your energy. It is disempowering to you.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, you said about the trap of positive thinking, and you also said about that change your inner world and the world will around you will change. So, sir, I'm confused between them.
That's my job. If you are confused, if you go confused from here, that means I have done my job well. So that's so what I'm trying to say is, even that positive thinking should not become a facade. A lot of times you're thinking positive but feeling negative. It should be authentic. The change should be genuine. The change should be authentic. But sometimes initially when you get that half knowledge is dangerous, right? So that is what I'm saying. Don't keep a facade of positive thing. Genuinely become positive. Right? The trap of meaninglessness. Sometimes I've seen a lot of spiritual people. They find, no, life is so meaningless. And it's a paradox. Spirituality should have made your life more joyful, more fun. Now it's a depressive mindset. They carry a depressive mindset. Because you feel separated from existence. Because you have not yet found your inner connection. If you find connection, if you experience your interconnectedness with your own being, then it will be easier for you to connect with the other being. When you stay disconnected from your inner being, you will not be able to find connection with other being, or other job, or anything that you want to do. It's only to numb your pain. You're doing things just to numb your pain. But when you find your connection with your inner being, then everything becomes joy. You become the extension of that inner joy. Then you're not doing You're not going to the nightclub to numb your pain. You're going for the joy of celebration, to fun, to enjoy the music, to dance, to meet your friends. Not to escape from your pain. So there's a difference. The state of being changes. The doing may not change much, but from what being you're doing what you're doing. So a lot of times when people get into spirituality, they find everything, "Arey, this is all Maya, this is all meaningless. अरे तो भैया आए क्यों यहाँ पे? ऊपर ही रह लेते." But the reason we came here to experience life, but to experience life from the right state of being. Because it is the life experiences which teaches you. That is also a teacher. The true test of your spirituality comes when you are into that real life, not when you escape from reality. People come into spirituality to escape from reality. कई लोग बोलते हैं भैया साधु बन जाओ, खाना मिलेगा, पैसा भी लोग चढ़ाएंगे और उसके बाद प्रणाम भी करेंगे, और क्या चाहिए, इससे अच्छा धंधा ही नहीं है. And then they no need to and avoid all the responsibilities. So again, this is the trap of meaninglessness. Keshav? Yeah. Trap of avoiding everyday responsibilities. Many times when we become spiritual, you start living off the grid. Avoiding day-to-day responsibilities. Avoid facing day-to-day challenges. But the real growth happens, the real growth happens when you face those challenges. In contrast, it is in contrast that leads to the expansion of your consciousness. Not by avoiding responsibility, not by avoiding challenges. Right? As I told you, the Zen saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. You don't avoid day-to-day responsibilities. Right? This is the story of Lao Tzu. This is the emperor, the Chinese emperor, heard so much about Lao Tzu, about his teachings. He wanted to visit him. So the emperor went to visit Lao Tzu. While entering, he saw somebody doing the farming in very torn clothes, in a muddy clothes. And he asked that person, "Where is Lao Tzu?" He said, "Inside that house." The emperor went there and waited for him. And then the same man comes in. And the emperor asked, "Where is Lao Tzu?" He said, "I am the Lao Tzu." So, you don't avoid day-to-day responsibilities. In fact, the same responsibilities, you do it better. Now you know how to create from the quantum field, how to use your consciousness. You do it from the right consciousness, right state of consciousness, from the right state of being, so that you get better results. Now instead of hard work, now you do smart work. The trap of self-victimization. Sometimes I've seen people becoming spiritual and they behave like a victim. Oh, my life is like that because of my bad karma. Nothing is right in my life because of my bad karma. So that's why I have to suffer in this lifetime. So the very understanding of the karma, which was supposed to empower you, it actually disempowers them. It becomes an excuse. The karma becomes an excuse that I am suffering because of my bad karma. And then you blame karma for every misery in your life, every tragedy in your life. You blame God. And I'm going to cover about karma and free will tomorrow. The trap of savior complex. Superiority complex. When you become spiritual, you think, oh, I am special. That sense of specialness comes. Again, as a spiritual, it becomes your inflated ego, self-importance. When you become a spiritual teacher, you start wearing special clothing, special pose. Special names, special tika, to create false aura around you. If somebody comes to meet, at least a lot of people must be sitting around you. Create false aura. Behaving like a VVVVVVVVIP. Again, that's a trap. Behaving extraordinary if you're extraordinary is what a big deal. Being ordinary when you're extraordinary is really extraordinary. But then, right, we become holier than thou attitude. Mere chele, mere shishya. So all this is again, this is also a trap. When I believe that we are all gods, when I see God in everyone, then we are all equals. Where is this and where is that? How can I be holier than thou? Last November, I had a talk in NCPA. And just after my talk, there's one Swamiji, he was speaking. And immediately after my talk, there were around 1,200 people. The organizers came in first 5 rows. They said no women should sit in the first 5 rows. They all started making this women shift in the back rows. Most of the women felt very offended and they actually left. And I was also wondering what's going on, why is this chaos? And I realized, that Swamiji wants no women in the first 5 rows. So sometimes you wonder if spirituality is about equality, then why would you do this? I said, thank God my talk was before them. And if my wish prevails, I'll only have women in the first rows. So, again, spirituality, they think they're spiritual or it must be the religious beliefs, whatever it is. I thought maybe the Swamiji is so horny, he can't control his senses. Some people say, they become spiritual, they become Swami, I can't touch money. Oh my God, what will happen if you touch money? As if money will give some shock. Or as if all the spirituality will go away. No, you can't touch money. Money, keep it there. And then they'll give more time to the rich people and claim for and ask for donations. Arey? I have met Swamiji who don't touch money and they say, मेरा आश्रम उनके आश्रम से बड़ा होना चाहिए. So spirituality does not mean, again, it has its own traps. Because you have not really worked on yourself. Now the same empire, the same emotional feed, you need to feed the same ego. So जो आपने जो पहले corporate world में किया, अब आप spiritual world में भी चालू कर दोगे. There is not much of difference. The trap of attachment. Sometimes we become attached to our mystical experiences. I've seen a lot of people who are psychic, who must have had amazing mystical experiences. And then they boost talking. There's nothing wrong in sharing with your experiences. But they feel, wow, this, in their mind they feel some specialness of sharing those, of telling that, oh, they got this experience. And sometimes they fake it also. They exaggerate their stories, their experiences. Because that boosts their ego. Other people will feel so that other people will feel, wow. And I don't see any change in their life. I don't see much transformation. I don't care. I rather have people who have no experiences, but they have transformed emotionally. They have transformed their lives. Sometimes you get an experience and every time you meditate, you want to chase the same experience. So again, it is attachment to their experiences. Right? Carl Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Sometimes you become attached to your guru, attached to your God. If somebody tells anything negative words or abusive language about your God, you feel angry, you feel hurt. Or about your guru, you feel angry or you're hurt, you're ready to fight. But the God taught you love. The God is an embodiment of love. And in the name of same love, you're ready to fight. How funny is this? Because ego loves to seek even God, even that personification of that God. And now you're ready to fight for that. My God. My Guru. So even that is a trap. That does not mean that your relationship is your personal. Why should others' opinions or behaviors bother you? The trap on relying on the trap of relying on external answers. Sometimes people go from one guru to another guru to another guru to another guru. So it's not really about, spirituality is not really about too much knowledge. It's more about going deep with that knowledge. How deep do you go with that knowledge? Otherwise you'll get lost in knowledge. When Rumi met his guru, Shams Tabrizi, Rumi was a great scholar. He was the scholar of Sufism. He was one of the topmost scholars of Sufism. Most learned man. But after enlightenment, by staying with his guru, and after he got enlightened, after he opened his heart, he said, I dropped all my knowledge. I don't need these scriptures anymore. So, again, if you do one workshop, how important is, how well do you integrate this knowledge? How well that you integrate these learnings into a day-to-day life? It's not about shifting from one workshop to another workshop to another workshop. अभी ये भी हो रहा है, ये भी कर लेता हूँ, अभी ये भी हो रहा है, ये भी कर लेता हूँ. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Become aware. Keep the right balance. Getting personal gurus. As I told you, attachment with guru. Become a part of the cult. I would say follow no one. Learn from everyone, but follow no one. Learn from everyone, but follow no one. Right? Follow the teachings, not the teacher. Because in the end, all your answers are within you. Or ask all from yourself. In the end, everything leads to oneness and love. That is the key. How are you feeling that? So friends, I'll break now for so just 5 more minutes, then we'll break. So friends, our first half of our life is devoted in forming a healthy ego. Right? First half of our life goes in forming a healthy ego, and the second half in going inward and letting go of it, right? So earlier you start this journey, earlier you understand this journey, earlier you become conscious of that ego, the less efforts it will take in actually letting go of it. That's why they say life really begins at 40. Up until then, you're only doing research, only experimenting. So friends, Rumi said, be like a melting snow. Wash yourself off yourself. We have to wash our ego. We have to wash ourselves from ourselves. This ego, drop these layers of ego, layers of identities, layers of this role. A bad day for the ego is a great day for the soul. Sometimes you feel very hurt, very angry, very upset, because the ego in you is hurt. But actually that's a great day for your soul. Maybe you will awaken, maybe you look inward now. Maybe you will get disillusioned by chasing happiness outside. Maybe you will somewhere look within. That's why a bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul. Rumi said, I went through the journey without I. I went through the journey without I, and there my heart opened up to joy. He said, Rumi said, let's be nothing. I heard it lasts forever. When you lose your ego, you are just consciousness. And that consciousness lasts forever. You find your permanence. You lose your impermanence and you find your permanence. Sometimes even we give donations. Oh, I want my name up there. Right? Even in donation, you want your ego, you want to amplify your ego. You want the whole society to know, oh, I donated this. The hall is in my name. But be anonymous. In the end, it's not between you and him. It's between you and him. If you are giving truly from your heart, not for your ego, for the joy of giving, then he is watching you. He knows that. Obscure outlasts the obvious. Be obscure. You don't need to have your name everywhere. Be anonymous. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. There's a Sufi story, when Sufi saint was sitting in a house, a visitor came to visit him, to meet him. He asked, there was no furniture in the house. So the Sufi saint was sitting on the floor and there was no furniture. The house was fully empty. So the visitor was very surprised. Absolutely nothing. Where does he sit? And he was wondering, how do I sit on the floor? He was a big businessman. So he asked the Sufi saint asked him. He asked, there is no furniture. So Sufi saint asked him, where is your furniture? Didn't you get your furniture? So the visitor said, but I am only the visitor. The Sufi said, so am I. Right? So we are all visitors on this planet. But we take that visit so seriously. Imagine going to a hotel room and saying, it's my room, this is my house. That's how we are living our roles. We have come to the earth planet, but we take that role so seriously. Man suffers because he takes seriously what God's made out for fun. What we thought we'll have fun coming here to have that human experience. Now we are suffering because we are taking it so seriously. So friends, life is supposed to be fun. You are creator. You are a focusing mechanism. When you get hold of an idea, play it for the pleasure of it. Play it out for the pleasure of it. If you are doing it from ego, then you are not connected to your source energy. It is the joy of creation, the fun, the excitement of creation, not from the ego. When it coming from consciousness, then it is fun. Then it is the joy, then it is excitement, then it is liberating. That's why a really mature person cannot be serious. Because there is nothing to be serious about. The whole life is a fun. It's a play of consciousness. And that's what meditation reveals to you. That the whole life is a beautiful play of energy. And when you detach from your identity, from your ego, you become nothing. But that nothing contains everything. Right? How like a white light contains all the colors. Same way, your nothing contains everything. Rumi said, oh drop, give yourself up with no regret. And in exchange, gain the ocean. And that is what enlightenment is. Enlightenment is when the wave realizes it's an ocean. So friends, we're all visitors on this planet. This world is a bridge. Pass over it, but do not build upon it. Thank you. So now, there's a tea break. Now we'll have tea now. And then we are going to Tapasthali for meditation. Right? A lot of people have said that let's do one more meditation at Tapasthali. So we'll go to Tapasthali for meditation. Any other announcements? So 5:21 right now, 5:45, just at the entrance of the bridge, we'll leave for Tapasthali. Okay? Tea is down, and Tapasthali will go and then do the meditation up there. Thank you. Any other announcements? How are we going? Go walking, and somebody will guide us. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
Shreyans. Thank you so much. So before heading for Tapasthali, a gentle reminder for using the washrooms here again. And we have found room number 315 and 316 keys. So whoever they belong to, please come and collect it from this side. Thank you so much.
इनकी थी सर 3151